I think the reality is there's not a lot of them that are actually doing it because it is a big it's a heavy lift, but it's a necessary lift, and it adds complexity, it adds technology, it adds people. It is a move that I think a lot of people have thought about, and I think the true pioneers have done it or are doing it or thinking about it because clients want everything faster and cheaper and better. And to deal with one vendor buying a label and a carton is a lot quicker than dealing with two separate vendors, two separate art files. And that's how we actually got into it, was seeing clients giving over to us the label, and then there was always a piece of box art. I'm like, I wonder where that's going to. But we originally were in boxes, so it was a little bit easier for us. But it's a big deal, but it's a necessary move. First of all, I'm very impressed with LOUPE's pivot and adding on the shrink already, and now adding the folding cartons, because it really is one space, which is printed packaging for the consumer products and consumer brands. But what we do every year is we pick a team that's going, and we figure out the vendors we want to meet with. We even make appointments, which I think is it's great for you. It's great for the vendor. They want to they want to dedicate time to everybody, and it's a huge learning experience. So at the end of the day, this would be a great place to start having conversations with the print people, on offset, sheet fed, the plate making people, ink people, and I think it's a way to put your toe in the water, because it's a big ocean and you got to start somewhere. And LOUPE would be a great way to start. I mean, I'm not an expert on what the vendors are innovating right now, but what I'm hearing is the inkjet digital sheet-fed presses have come a long way, like your Canons, your Konicas, and I think that is probably the most innovation that I've heard of. And at the end of the day, we are excited for the possibility of an inkjet hybrid an inkjet flexo hybrid carton converting line. The beauty of LOUPE, one of the beauties of LOUPE, is you have everybody there. You have your competitors, you have vendors, you have innovators, you have really smart people in the industry, and there's no better place to learn and talk to people about what you're looking to do, because LOUPE is all about solutions, and that's why it's such a wonderful event. I know for a fact that LOUPE has already pivoted to flexible packaging, and now they're getting into folding cartons, which I think is terrific. We don't do any flexible packaging, so I can't really talk about that, but I know the synergies in labels and folding cartons are about as obvious as you can get. But I think people have always seen it as two separate departments, when in fact your client is part of your system. So if your system requires you to do labels and cartons, you got to figure it out. And I think LOUPE is the ideal place to get started. It's the ideal place to understand what needs to be done to help you come up with an action plan to get into it, because that's where the industry's moving. And when I was contacted years ago, I'd either be contacted by a carton company that wanted to acquire me, or a label company that wanted to acquire me. And I had people even say, we just want your label business, or we just want your carton business. I said, well, they're inseparable. Conversation immediately broke down and ended. But now I'm getting calls where people are understanding that doing both is essential for now and into the future.